Up next is Tom Sleigh, who teaches at Hunter College. Of his many books, Station Z and Army Cats won the John Updike Award from the American Academy of Arts and Letters, and Spacewalk won the Kingsley Tufts Award.
So, just out of the pit of vipers, I'm going to read one poem. It's just Phil Levine had his 80th birthday party here, and so I thought this would be an appropriate place to read a poem for him, just because he was a poet of labor. And just a few things. Phil had a lifelong heart arrhythmia, which didn't cause him a lot of trouble. And the poem sort of takes place about 10 days before he died, when I visited him out in Fresno. And you know how you are when somebody's dying and there's all this intense emotion in the room and you want to tell each other that you love each other. And so you do that after a while. And then Phil was, after a while he became Phil and said, you know what, let's not use that word. That is the L word, the love word. And then the last thing is when I was about 28, 29 years old, I met Phil for the very first time. And we were talking about poetry, and he was talking about a particular line that he loved in a Larkin poem about retired racehorses called At Grass. And the line is, till wind distresses tail and mane. And Phil said, I really love the way the verb works there, because it says on the one hand, distress as in, cause agitation to, but also distress as in unbraid. And he looked at me and said, of course, Tom, you knew that when racehorses, before they run, their manes and their tails are braided. And I said, oh yeah, I knew that. Yeah, sure. So this is just called for Phil. He sits reading under his desk lamp. He loves how wind distresses tail and mane. He likes the rhymes internal and irregular, how people from the old days walk in and out of the poem, how the father who dies in one stanza can rise in another, how, despite the drought, the rain keeps falling in 14 lines. His rumpled bed is never not specific as the dent his head leaves in the pillow. He rubs his hand across his jaw, unshaven. His touch on the back of your wrist is delicate and urgent. When you help him up from bed, he isn't shy about holding on. When he lies back down, he grips his water bottle and won't let go. Smiling says, let's not use that word. It's been used 10,876 times. He shrugs off the weepers, the brotherly lovers, the sour preachers turning purple and blue in their dandruff-sprinkled robes. Out in his backyard in Fresno, the oranges are ripening. At his window in Brooklyn, the plane trees, stripped bare of leaves, click softly in the breeze. Him in his undershirt, in his tweed jacket, in sweatpants watching Norman Szymanski clean and jerk. Now he's throwing rocks on the bridle path. He's turning into a fox. The brush of his tail mocks the pack. He leaps clear of his own tracks, doubles back, loses the lords and ladies riding. Now he's preaching to rats, showing them pages in holy books, money books, books of the entitled that are good to eat and chew right down. But all alone in his study, with ice and sun, he scrawls with his fountain pen, crosses it all out, starts again. And this time, rising up are the sheared away walls of an abandoned high school, a stack of rusted axles, a diner where nobody talks openly of love, but where ketchup and mockery are served up with the coffee, and his heart, arrhythmic, pulses out of sync, all on its own.